Hey, everybody, welcome to Ronline Report. You know this man very well. He is one of the stars of the classic physique division. Just competed last weekend. Actually, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but he competed at the Texas Pro. Lost by this much. Damn it. I was really rooting for him. Please welcome Logan Franklin. What's up, Logan?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Good. So I have to lead with the question is, the Olympia is coming up. That was your one, you put all your eggs in one basket, basically.
Yes.
And it almost went that way. It seemed like a foregone conclusion until, because this Robert Timms, I remember him from years ago, and I was like, he was going downhill. He went from 6th at the Olympia to 14th to 15th. He's been gone 3 years. When I saw his name on the list, I'm like, whatever. I see all these people trying to make comebacks, and most of them, unfortunately, they don't look very good when they do that, but he looked good. So let's get back to you. There is still a possibility. I thought it was all done. I thought there was no more classic shows to Olympia, but you just told me before we started recording, there are a couple more chances to get the Olympia, but you're not interested. What's up?
Not interested. Nothing. I want to spend some more time with my son. I didn't get to see him for about 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks for this show. I'd rather just focus on the Arnold Classic. I don't want to have to peak multiple times. I feel like whenever people have to do that, the quality of what they bring, it can get worse. And for me, every time I want to step on that stage, I want people to be blown away. I want them to be excited for the next time they see me. So I just, I'm the type of guy that, especially right now, I mean, I know I can qualify for the Mr. Olympia, and a lot of fans want me there. A lot of people would like to see me there for sure. I mean, I would like to be there, but the way I feel is, if I can't win this pro show that I just competed in, then I'm not ready to win the Mr. Olympia. And that might sound weird for some people, but right now I want to be the best, and I want to focus on making the improvements necessary and growing as a person, as a man, as a father, a husband, all these things, and just enjoying life. I'm not rushing anything. These things take time. So, you guys can see the progress that I've made over the last few years. Every time I step on stage, I've made significant improvements. So it's pretty exciting because I know that from now until next year, whenever I do compete again to try to qualify for the next Mr. Olympia, unless I win the Arnold Classic in 5 weeks, which honestly I can visualize myself.
I'm very mixed about that. I thought only the Open men's winner at the Arnold qualifies for Olympia. Is that not true?
That's correct. Only the Open division winner
qualified
for this.
I see.
Yes,
gotcha.
But if you win in the other divisions, you're qualified for next year's. So that's the goal right now. The goal right now is to go into the Arnold Classic, win, and I know I can. I know I can beat these guys. I know I can beat Alex. I can beat Terrence. I can beat Brian. I don't care what anybody says. People that don't like me or don't like my physique. I just have a profound belief in myself, and I'm getting better, and I'm doing everything that I can to change the game with my posing and from what I can bring, for what I can do. Yeah. And I'm very confident with my hard work, so the amount of work that I put in brings the confidence. It gives me the confidence because I know that I've done everything that I could. So I'm very confident going into the Arnold Classic. I know I could have been maybe a hair sharper at Texas. I've been a little bit more shredded before, but I've never been so full on top of that conditioning in my life. So I'm completely happy with the way that I looked at the Texas Pro. Yeah. No regrets. I felt that I brought a winning physique, but from head to toe, from top to bottom, symmetrical, front to back, missing no body parts. I felt that my physique was the most symmetrical on the stage. But it's just not my time, clearly I'm not ready in some of the judges' eyes. So the next time they see me, like I said, I'm gonna be working very, very hard, diligently to make sure that the judges find less and less things to mark me down on. So yeah, I'm just ready to bring it. I'm ready to keep getting better and improve, and I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, when it was a 1-point decision, and what that means, for those of you who don't know how they score all that, that means you definitely had some first place votes, and it came down to
one judge.
They had,
yeah,
was it
one judge.
You didn't steal his girlfriend a few years ago, did you? But just kidding. But yeah, that when it's 1 point like that, that means it could have gone either way. Obviously, a lot of people would have been very happy to see you win. I don't think anybody would have argued. And man, before we talk about posing, because you're posing, it's leveled up again. But I'm going to be interviewing Robert in a couple of days, and I'll put it to him too, because years ago, what I remembered about him was that his upper body sort of overpowered his lower body, and to an extent, it still does. He's brought his legs up a little bit, but I see people arguing already about this because the people on his side say, well, yeah, he beat him, but you shouldn't have to have these big quads in classic. That should just be for open. You shouldn't have to have massive. It should be like the old school, the classic bodybuilders of the 70s and the 80s, with the exception of Platts. Most of them didn't have these enormous quads or hams. It was more upper body dominant in the classic era when you look at it. But then on the other hand, you say, well, it's 2021. If you're saying the standard of classic physique ideals is Chris Bumstead, who's now our 2-time Olympia champ. Chris has fantastic legs. So, I'm kind of on the fence about that. Clearly, you had better legs, a little better legs, and a better balance upward or lower than Robert. He had a crazy upper body. He's a big dude with a little waist.
He was very big. He was very big. I was not expecting him to be so big in person. Whenever I saw him, I was like, damn, he's huge up top, And I feel like maybe the judges are really used to looking for that mass, with how the open division has gone. It seems like the way bodybuilding is being judged lately is just who's the biggest guy, not necessarily who's most complete. I mean, you got guys winning, open pro shows, and they're completely lacking muscles like triceps and calves and just imbalances. But I'm trying to bring back, as much symmetrical shape as I can, that's just the way I view bodybuilding. Everything, in my opinion, needs to flow in harmony with the next. Everything needs to make sense. I don't want to have a single muscle group that just stands out way over the rest and goes, oh wow, he's got insane, incredible, whatever.
Right.
But all these other things, they kind of, it's whatever. But that muscle right there is insane. That's not how I view bodybuilding. I view bodybuilding as a whole, a complete picture, as well as presentation and posing. And unfortunately, I don't think that posing is judged anymore, and that's why, you see a lot of these guys that, they go up on stage and it's very cringy. It's boring. And I'm not trying to talk shit, but a lot of these guys need to work harder on the presentation aspect, because that's what bodybuilding is. That's not just in the gym, and working out, picking things up and putting them down. It's about showing your physique, because it's not about how much muscle you have. It's about the muscle that you show. And that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on, like I said, bringing the symmetry and then being able to show it in the best fashion that I can. And this weekend I felt like I did that. But it is what it is. You win some, you lose some, and this is just one of those things. This is one of those little speed bumps in my journey. And I'm a very profound believer that everything in life happens for a reason. I mean, I've had a lot of things in my lifetime that have happened where in the moment, and even for a year or a couple of years after, something that has happened that I'm talking about, I don't want to go into a bunch of my life details. I don't want all my information out there, personal stuff. But in the moment you could be like, oh wow, what the fuck? But years later it'll all make sense. Like, wow, okay, this is why these things happen. It led me here. And this is, in my opinion, this is just one of those things. So it's gonna make me better. It's not deterring me away from my vision and where I believe that I can go. As long as I'm continuing, the process of what I'm doing and working very hard and putting everything that I have into my craft, I can get there. I truly believe I can win the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, I want to get to the posing because I didn't watch Friday's stream. I only got to watch the pay-per-view on Saturday, and I hadn't watched your interview with Milos. It was actually a wrap-up. You actually helped him do the wrap-up for the Open and the 212 judging. It's pretty cool. In addition, then he interviewed you. That's a good idea, Milos. I never thought of doing it like that. But so when I saw you come out Saturday for the finals and do your posing routine, I was scratching my head, but my thought was, as I watched the routine, because I couldn't hear what Ciccarello was saying, I had the volume turned down so people wouldn't hear it. I thought they brought you back as like a guest poser because your routine was so damn good. As I was watching it, that's what I said. I said, I think they just brought him back so people could see this routine. And then come to find out later when I watched that, like, oh, they cut his routine out after, was it about 10 seconds, 20 seconds in, something like that. And you
I think I had done 5 poses and then the music stopped. I heard that it happened to a few other athletes, but in the moment I was so locked in and in the zone and trying to put on this performance for everybody that I had been working so fucking hard on. I've been every day, man. I swear, 1.5 hours, 2 hours every day since January. I've been putting this together, putting this routine together and posing on top of that, like trying to get posing conditioning, making sure that I'm hitting every single pose that I know, because like Bruce Lee says, he doesn't fear the man that knows that practiced 10,000 kicks one time, but practice one kick 10,000 times. I feel like I'm the guy that's practiced 10,000 kicks 10,000 times.
Yeah.
And that's just how that's the work that I put into this to make sure that every angle was exactly how it was going to be. The moment I would go into the pose, it was there. From the direction of my facial expression to hands, all the way to my fingers. Man, I was on fire, and it was just amazing. I had an amazing time, doing that routine. But anyways, back to what you said. Yeah, they cut the music off, and I was in the zone. I was so in the zone that I didn't realize that they cut the music off to hurry up and get me off the stage. I didn't realize that they only gave us 90 seconds to pose. I guess I had read somewhere that you get 3 minutes to pose for your finals.
Yeah.
And so that's always stuck with me. I've always been like, okay, well, I've got 3 minutes to pose. I can do a lot in 3 minutes. And that's how I've always, I've always made my routines that long.
Hold on. So have you done 3 minutes before and they didn't cut you off?
I believe that the New York Pro was about 2.5 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
2.5 minutes. Yeah. But this one was right at 3 minutes. From not 3 minutes of full posing, I had maybe about 16 seconds where I was walking to the box and then I'd start posing. Yeah. But 3 minutes overall, the whole song. I posed from start to finish of the song. I mean, who does that? I didn't cut the song. I didn't chop the song. I told a story with the song, like the way that it flowed, how I felt, the energy of the song was the way I would go about posing. But yeah, like I said, I didn't realize they were trying to rush me off stage. I legit thought that something happened to the music, like the music cut out and it was about to pop back on. So for the first 2, 3, maybe 4 poses after, I had the song still playing in my head like a melody. I was so on beat, and I was like, okay, now it's gonna come back on. I'm in the pose, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna be perfectly in sync with where the song would have been. But then you had Bob Ciccarello was like, okay, and thank you. And then whenever he was saying that, I realized that something else was going on. So By that point, I had a few more poses. I had like, I don't know how many poses I had left once I realized, but I said, you know what? I'm going to fucking finish this. You know, I put so much work into this. I'm going to at least finish it. And then, I finished the routine, and then you can see me get up. I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
You know? And I was pretty bothered backstage. I'm not going to lie. I probably shouldn't have been bothered, but man, I tell you, like I said, I put so much work into this for the enjoyment of everyone that's there, whether they're a fan of mine or whether they don't like me. It is my job to make someone a fan. You know, it's my job to turn a hater to a fan. And that's what I was trying to do with my performance. But I felt like, you know, in the moment, I felt like the fans were robbed of that experience, and I was robbed of being able to deliver it. So you saw me come out for finals, and
Yeah, how did
and
that happen? Did they ask you? Did you ask them? How did that happen?
Oh no, I'm talking about for finals on Friday.
Gotcha.
Whenever, yeah, you could tell whenever I came back after all the routines were done and we walked back on stage to get our awards and do the pose down, you could probably read it all over me that I was pretty upset. And I wish that I wouldn't have allowed it to affect that. You know, I should have been a little bit more professional. But it was just disappointing. But yeah, you know, you had the promoter, Freddie Nadeau, came up to me backstage after it was all said and done. And he was talking to me, and he said, you're in the leading for the best poser award right now. So tomorrow you should come back, and just in case you're going to win the best poser award. So next day I came back, and then I was offered an opportunity to go up there and finish my routine and do the routine from start to finish. And I'm not gonna lie, whenever it was first offered to me, I was still disappointed from how the day prior went. And I had eaten a ton of food the night before. I got little to no sleep because, you know, I was still on even though I was disappointed, I was still on cloud nine because I knew that I brought the very best me, and I did what I could to put on a show, right? For what you can do. You know, I posed my ass off even in the from the prejudging routine to the call outs. You know, I was posing way more than everybody in the call outs. I was hitting 3-4 classic poses. I would turn around, I'd be the first one in the pose, and then I'd switch poses and be the last one to come out of a pose. You know, I was just making sure that I was trying to leave a statement that, you know, I'm the guy up here that you want to see. But yeah, I'm getting off track, I guess. But
okay. Yeah, I mean, I got to give a props to Freddie because I've been to many shows where music was cut off or whatever, and I've never seen them try to like make good on it and say you can come back and do your routine again because that wasn't right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful that I got that opportunity because, like I said, I put so much work into there, and I wanted everyone to be able to witness it. And I had been so outspoken about, you know, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna put on a posing routine that is gonna give you goosebumps. Like that was the goal. I didn't realize it was gonna be as good as, you know, everyone's trying to make it out to be right now. I mean, I think it's great, but I think I could still do better. Yeah. But just being able to go up there and put on that performance, you know, it made the whole weekend like whatever. Like who cares? I got second place. I got to do that routine for you guys, and that felt amazing because I left it all on the stage. I left all the emotion right there. You know, I put it in that routine. I think I delivered it the way I was wanting to deliver it. So
yeah, I mean, some of the poses you included in there some of them reminded me of like the old days, like they look like poses like Ed Corney would have done, or Lee Labrada or Frank Zane, you know, the 70s and 80s guys. Some of them I think you pretty much invented. I mean, it was a very creative routine. I'd say that was there's two people in the division. I definitely would not want to miss routines, and that would be you and Ruffin.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that feels good. I get chills, you know, you're talking about it right now because, you know, you always talk about these things, and, you know, I love the law of attraction. I practice heavily with the law of attraction and speaking things into existence and saying I'm going to do something even if it sounds, crazy, people will be like, well, you can't do that, whatever. But saying it, you got to say it to make it a reality. You got to say it because whenever you say it, then you put the effort towards it, and eventually you can do it. But yeah, it's one of those things that, like I said, I've been saying I wanted to be here, and then now I'm here. So it's one of those realizations, like, wow, okay, I've made it to this point. Now let's keep going. Where can we go now? That's what it is. I mean, I've reached a crazy point in my career, like where I'm very proud of myself. But I'm not even close to satisfied. If anything, I'm more hungry, yeah.
Just one thing about how much potential you still have left that's untapped. This is a very rudimentary way to quantify it, but your weight cap is what? 230?
230. Yes, sir.
And what'd you weigh at this show?
I was 219.4 at weigh-in.
So you could 11 pounds would make a massive difference on a frame like that with small joints and everything.
Thank you.
Wow. So yeah, that's exciting to hear. But I want to talk about the coaching situation, because this was your first prep with the new coach, I believe, right? Milos Sarchev, the mind. He called you his protege, not his client. I like that, Milos. But tell me what it was like working with him. The guy's a legend. I know he's incredibly knowledgeable. So how was it like prepping with Milos the mind as your coach?
It was the best prep I've probably ever had in my entire career, because I was just, for one, so stress-free this entire this whole year. I've been so stress-free. My son's getting to an age where it's a lot easier to manage my career and raising him and being there for Marissa, helping out as much as I can, just balancing everything. It was just the stress-free aspect just made it so much better. On top of that, Milos, he's so amazing that every time that we would FaceTime and chat, he would help analyze everything and even overanalyze it. Like, oh, you need to hold your abs more here. Keep it glued to your spine. So he instantly made me, he's instantly making me go, shit, I need better abs. So now I want to have better abs. Like he makes me want to get better. Yeah. We'll just keep it short and sweet. He makes me want to get better. He points out things that I wouldn't have thought about to improve on, so it's just a lot, man. And he's only a few years younger than my dad. It's not like he's a coach that's the same age as me or 1 or 2 years older than me. And I'm, or didn't really go through, the IFBB and did whatever the heck they did, had a crazy career and gained all this knowledge. He's like a true mentor, and it feels great. It feels really good to be working under him.
Yeah. Another thing about Milos, he did all those shows and everything, but Milos and there was a couple other guys of that era that, if there had been a classic division back then, they all would have been in contention for the Olympia. So I think Milos has more of a sensibility for your division, because the same things he always emphasized were, the tiny waist, the presentation, things like that in open bodybuilding now, they're not really that important. We got there's guys you can tell they didn't.
It's a shame. It should be. The open division, I feel it should be just a bigger version of the classic division. Yeah. I feel like you still need to have that aesthetics up there. I mean, when is the point of too big? When is it too big to where it's just like, gosh, damn, you got everything is so maxed out, but there's no true beauty in the physique. You're just huge. Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. God bless those guys. They're working their asses off. I mean, I don't want to do that. But I feel like the open division should still be focusing, on aesthetics and judging the posing. Because whenever you judge the posing, you're going to make these guys want to get better at posing. And what is that going to do? It's going to bring the excitement back to these shows, rather than, okay, let's hurry it up, guys. Next guy, let us perform. We're putting on this show, the people are coming to watch us do this thing, so let's do it.
I've heard I know why I've asked about that, and this is what I get as a response, and I kind of understand it. They say, well, if we judge the posing, what are we judging? Because what if some guys are the most incredible poser you ever seen in your life, but his physique's not that great? Do we have him points ahead in the posing round of someone with a much better physique who poses like shit? What would you do? I'd be at a loss as a judge.
Yeah, see, that is a really good point. And I personally would not know how to answer that. You know, there's got to be, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to compete. I'm here to compete. You know, the people that run it, that's, you know, I feel like that's something that they could think of, you know, maybe one day they'll figure it out, you know, and hopefully maybe this is the shift, you know, they'll start thinking about it, you know, but we'll see. I'm just excited, man. I want to see posing again. I want to see, because I don't want to just see it from me. I want to see other people that, you know, I admire their physiques, you know, to do crazy routines as well, you know. But
I believe at the Arnold, it's the Arnold events, which, geez, now that I think this year we only have the one in Ohio, but
yes,
he made it. Arnold made a statement. I believe the IPB Pro League went along with it a couple years ago, that at his events, no other pro events, but the Arnold Classic events, they do judge the posing. So it does. It does play a factor. I know for open men.
I was unaware. I was unaware that the Arnold Classic judged posing rounds. So
I could be wrong. It might only be open men, but something tells me it's got to be classic. How could you have it be for open men and not classic when posing and presentation is definitely more of a factor in classic than it is open?
I feel it's very important in classic, you know, to show off the aesthetics, just so, you know, because you run into the issue where a lot of these guys, they're creating their routines and they're only doing their mandatory poses. And then they're like, oh shit, what do I do? I've done 5 poses.
And they do
what else do I do? Yeah. And then they'll do this.
And they do this.
Cheer for me. Yeah. Which is one of the most cringiest things that you can watch. I mean, I just made a post about it, and I'm sure that I'm going to catch a lot of flack. Some people will be like, oh, I do that on stage. Fuck this guy, you know. But, you know, I would like to see that change. I would like to see people go up there and earn, you know, the appreciation. Go out there and earn it.
Right. No, you know, I've been covering a lot of shows with the last couple shows, the ones that have been in Tampa. I don't know if you remember Mike Cox, who does a lot of coverage with us, but, you know, me and him were having our little conspiratorial talks, praising, talking shit the whole time during the contest. And anytime I see someone, it's very clear that they ran out of poses. They're making it up. It's just, I shake my head. I'm like, really? You spent all that time getting in shape, training, dieting. You did all that. You couldn't even put a routine together. I'm not saying like you, 2 hours a day from January to August. Yeah, that's a high level of dedication, but put a routine together, something that's this pose goes to that pose, and, and there are transitions instead of when you see someone do the same like 4 poses over and over again, it's like, oh, come on, dude.
Yeah. Yes.
You just did that pose.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, not everyone has to come out every single show and have a fucking knock it out of the ballpark routine. That's not going to happen very often. I mean, you can only make so many of those routines. You see what I'm saying? But whenever like you said, whenever you can tell that someone literally put 0 emphasis on their posing, you could just tell me a list of poses and I'll do a better posing routine off of the wing it, you know, to the house music, you know, then some of these guys will have their entire prep and do 5 poses. Yeah. So yeah, I would really like to see, you know, the fluidity, the transitioning from one pose to the next, and it all makes sense, you know, and it flow correctly, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm motivated to keep doing it. And at the same time, I say for other people to do it, but I'm a competitor at the end of the day. So go ahead and keep doing what you're doing, because I'm going to do what I'm doing and do everything I can to stand out.
And just to put a stamp on that with the cringy thing, when guys are clearly doing a terrible routine that they're making up and they stop and put their hand up like cheer for me, that's as bad as like a comedian telling a joke that's not funny and telling, come on guys, laugh. No, we'll cheer for you if we want it. If we're inspired to cheer for you, like you'll laugh at a comedian if it's funny. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, think about that, you guys. Put a routine together, guys. Any routine is better than no routine.
Right, any routine is better than no routine.
I gotta ask, what was the song? What was the song that you posted?
It's called Osiris.
Osiris.
By who? infrasound music or something like that. I randomly came across it on YouTube back in like December, and instantly I said to myself, this is the song I have to use. So yeah, it was great. It was the one.
You didn't do Welcome to the Jungle? No? Okay. No.
Welcome to the Jungle.
How many times I've seen that done? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I guess you got the Arnold, so you're not going to hit an off season until after that. So, you said you didn't want to peak multiple times, but you're peaking again in, what is it, 5.5 weeks? What are we on?
Yes, sir.
Right? So,
5 weeks.
Theoretically, you can't go to the Olympia unless you did one of these other shows coming up. I assumed after last year's Olympia, where things did not go your way. It was not, were you in 8th, 9th last year?
9th.
Yeah. So I knew you were very, very much wanted to come back and redeem yourself and get back. That's why I'm surprised to hear that you have the patience and the wisdom to say, I'm not going to come back until I feel I'm ready to win the damn thing.
Like I said, man, I'm in a much different place now. My son came into my life, and I feel so different than I did a couple years ago. Like everything means so much more now, so it's like I'm trying to leave a legacy. I want my son to go, damn, my dad's a superhero. I want these things, I want him to feel this way. So I want to get, how good can I get? That's where I'm thinking, like, what kind of legacy can I leave for my name, my family, my son to see? So yeah, I mean, I want to focus on the Arnold. I feel like if I just focus on the Arnold, because to me, the Arnold Classic means more to me than any other show in the entire world other than the Mr. Olympia. And that's the second best thing you can do and win. So why not give it all for that? And if I can do that, then I'm qualified for the next year's Mr. Olympia. And imagine, I've never been able to go from one Mr. Olympia to the next and not have to compete and only dial in for that Mr. Olympia. So that's the goal. I would really love to see what I could do with an entire year of just focusing on improvements and, getting to that title.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think that's, what else do you need? You don't have any weak body parts. We a couple of years ago, your chest was pretty damn shallow. It was not good. You worked your ass off. Now you're hitting like the Arnold shots. You have to you can't hit those shots without a chest or you look like a fool. So clearly you brought that up. I don't think it's a body part issue. It's keep that waist tight, get a little bit bigger. I don't even know if you need the full 11 pounds. I think,
I think that if I can get to around 225 to 226 on stage, that would be money for me. And bring, the conditioning that I can bring at that weight. Like I said, I know I've been more peeled. Some people will be commenting on my posts being like, oh, you're not as lean as usual. But I mean, my glutes were still strided. My glutes were still more strided than all the guys up there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My hamstrings were completely separate. Every single hamstring were like wires. I didn't see that in anybody else's legs up there. So, I mean, my conditioning was there. I know it wasn't as good as it has been, but like I said, the fullness, I figured that if I could have brought the fullness on top of this conditioning, that it would have made a much bigger difference. And I think it did. I think that my poses looked much more improved because of the fullness aspect. But I want a little bit more time to develop that muscle maturity, so therefore I can have my weight a little higher, the fullness there, and the conditioning that I know that I can bring. I only did about 2 hours of cardio this entire prep. What? No bullshit. I have a Stairmaster in my garage. I've done more cardio since the Texas Pro than I have this entire prep. Oh my God. I swear to God. All of my cardio has been from the training, my posing.
Posing's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, my posing and doing little touch-up stuffs in my garage, like pull-ups, little things with I have a little cable machine, doing stuff for my rear delts, just trying to fill in all of the spaces. So I know I'm burning calories there. So I didn't really focus on the cardio, but you know what? Okay, well, now I'm going to add in some cardio. So we're going to see where it takes my physique. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see.
Hold on, who told? Was this Milos that had you do much less cardio? Was this your call? How
It
did
was
you
just it was my call more than anything. He was telling me to do 30 minutes a few times per week, and I did it a couple times, like I said, and then I was like, damn, I mean, my glutes are strided. You know, I want to keep this fullness, you know. I don't want to over diet myself, which seems to be a problem that I've had in the past, where I'd come in super flat, you know. So I wanted to try something different. You know, I wanted to be right there with the conditioning. You know, like I said, maybe I could have been a hair sharper, but bring the fullness, you know. Yeah.
I mean, if you compare the fullness at this show to the 2020 Olympia, night and day.
Night and day. Yeah. I actually have a video. I'll send it to you after this. Yeah. That I took in my living room. I was 3 days out from the Mr. Olympia, and then it was a side chest video, and then I took a side chest video, same position, same distance, 3 days out from the Texas Pro, and it's night and day. I mean, my chest is way fuller. You can see my arms look different. So yeah, I'm happy with how I looked. You know, it's all,
you know, that's forever the gamble is condition, fullness. Everyone's trying to find that perfect balance.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes you have to give up a little bit of one to get a lot more of the other. And I think this was definitely the right gamble, because if you had come in ultra shredded and just as flat as you were at the Mr. Olympia or flatter, you know, you probably wouldn't have even been second. You might have been like fifth or sixth or something. Who knows what would have happened to you?
I don't think I'd have been that far back.
I know. I'm just saying.
But I think that if I would have came in flat, then Steve would have definitely edged me out. You know, Steve Larius has that physique like mine. He's got amazing aesthetics, poses. He's got an incredible physique. So I feel like if I would have came in flat, you know, and like you just said, more conditioned, I probably would have been in the third place. Right. So I am happy with the package that I brought to this show. You know, I'm very happy with everything from start to finish, the presentation that I was able to give. And that's just where the cards fell. You know, the cards fell. I got second place, and it is what it is, you know. Bitter pill to swallow, because like we said, I put all my eggs in one basket, but I'm the type of guy, like I've spoken about earlier, I have no plan B. I only have plan A. So well,
that's a trait of most successful people. There is no plan B.
Exactly.
I'm going to do this, and that's what I'm going to do. So, man,
yes, sir.
Very exciting. You definitely have. Every time I see you, you know, with the exception of sometimes if the prep doesn't go 100%, whatever, you're always improving. The physique is always improving. Obviously, peaking is always the possibility.
Yeah, peaking is definitely more difficult than people might think.
They have no idea. No idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't understand. They could see, you see someone post an Instagram from their hotel at 7 a.m. and then you see them on stage at 10 a.m. and it can be way better or way worse. And you think, how is that possible? They don't understand. There's so many things that go into
timing. Timing is everything. Timing is everything with this. So
yeah. Well, Logan, I'm glad that you're doing the Arnold Classic, because, you know, if this was a one and done thing for 2021, I would have been like, man, you look so good. That's it. That's all we get. That's all we get.
Oh no! If I wasn't doing the Arnold Classic, then I would most definitely be doing one of these other shows coming up, like the Savannah Pro, or like I said, I think there's a show in California. Whichever show is left, I would definitely have been there. But because I'm doing the Arnold and how important it is for me to go in there absolutely lights out, that's the show I'm focusing on, and that's the show I'm winning.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, if you win that, that's going to put your stock up in a better position, because it's, aside from Bumstead and Breon, I think almost everyone else from the Olympia is in that show. It's pretty much the Olympia 2 weeks before the Olympia. So
yes, everyone's there. Everyone's there. So it gives me an opportunity to redeem myself. You know, you got a lot of people saying that Robert Timms is the guy that's going to challenge Chris. Well, if so, I only lost by 1 point. What does that say? What does that say? That means I should be right there. So, that gives me a lot of confidence that, maybe with a couple different judges, like Steve or any of the Mr. Olympia judges could see something else. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe they could get judged even worse in a direction.
Yes,
But
it's going to be interesting.
yeah, you never know. But
it's going to be very
yeah,
interesting.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what happens at the Arnold, and I know that I'm gonna bring an even crazier package because this was only mine and Milos's first show together. So he's just now learning my body, and I know that we're only we're gonna continuously get better and better at the whole process of peaking, and just the entire, not like going back to how our diet was, the whole prep was amazing, but everything can just get better and better,
Right.
So there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really not shocked because Milos is very good at what he does, but for you two to have nailed it that well on the first try together, it's rare. It's rare. It usually takes 2-3 shows before things come together. Usually you're a little flat or a little this. But you guys were.
I'll say another thing. I have, all right, probably one of the biggest issues for me whenever it comes the day of the show is getting a pump backstage. I never can get a pump backstage. I don't know when the last time I've gone backstage, gotten a pump and went, whoa, okay, I feel crazy, like I would in the gym. I'm the type, my physique is the type of physique, and you can ask anybody. You can ask even my training partner, Ricky Moten, Cash Gidry, you can ask some of these guys that just came and filmed me with digital muscle media.
Yeah.
A lot of photographers, they'll tell you from the moment I get in the gym to 5 minutes later, I look like a completely different person. So I know that if I can get a pump backstage, it's going to help me tremendously. Saying that, this is the first show, literally the very first set of a pump exercise that we did backstage.
Yeah.
I looked at Milos and I said, holy shit, I hope I don't over pump, because my chest instantly just went poof.
Wow.
We did some flies, and then I took the dumbbells and I did like this hex press, like a close press.
Yeah.
And it was instantly the most amazing pump I've ever had. It was backstage. It was an incredible, it was an incredible feeling of confidence, booster, to go on stage, having that, whoa, okay, I feel like I look my best right now with this pump. So yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm excited to see the next time, and then the next time, and so forth.
Luckily, we don't have that long to wait till the next time. It's coming up. Thank
5 weeks. It's gonna go by quick.
Cool. Well, Logan, man, I was glad to see you back. Glad to see that routine was breathtaking. That's one of the best routines I've seen in a very long time. Any division out of maybe fitness, because they flip around more, but of the bodybuilding type divisions, that was top notch, man. So keep bringing those routines. Keep. I think even if they don't judge routines, I think it's going to force the other guys to sort of step up, because they're going to hear people talking about Logan's routine. They go, I don't want to keep hearing about Logan's routine, how great it is anymore. I want them to talk about me. So they're going to have to start working on their posing. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, okay. 5 weeks. You're doing it all over again in Columbus, Ohio. Arnold Classic. It's going to be a good time. Great stacked lineup. So, man, if you come out on top of that, you're the man, dude. You're the man. So,
I believe I can do it. So as long as I put this work in, it's may the best man win. We'll just say that. May the best man win.
Fair enough. All right. Well, hopefully it's you. We'll find out in just 5 weeks.
Yes,
all right, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been the Ronline Report with Logan Franklin. Subscribe to the channel, hit likes, share, notification, do all that good crap for us. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching.